So I'm gonna do a shop tour. I can't think. Anyway, I'm doing a shop tour, and this isn't really for YouTube because right now I've got like 24 subscribers, and not that many people would really care to see that. I don't think it'd probably be a little boring. But I thought I'd do this because I'm gonna be moving soon. I'll probably have a couple more things in this shop, but I'm going to start packing things up and all that. So I wanted something to document what the shop looked like in its prime, and before I start taking stuff down. And so in a couple years, when I'm old and reminiscent, I guess you'd say, I can watch this. Because of wind, the quality of the sound wasn't too good, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. This is my anvil stand, what I call an anvil stand anyway. And I just made it out of some 4x4s. Those are my pseudo pitch roll and hardy holes. I haven't made a hardy yet, but I've used the pitch roll part for punching and stuff. And it's not as good as an anvil, but it works okay. That's a Wilton vise. I didn't know anything about vices, but I found this on the side of the road on a table where it looks like somebody said, "Yeah, I know how to use a torch," and then just melted off half of the table, and that was left. And so I picked it up. It was covered in like thick paint, and you know, used the wire wheel, cleaned it off, and repainted it. And it turns out that's like an $800 vise, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, it does what I need for blacksmithing. It's not a leg vise. There's my blacksmith helper, which throughout history has just been 2x4s with nails sticking in them, and you put it next to your forge, and when you're using a long piece of metal, you can just prop it on there. And it's actually nice forging with a long piece of metal because you don't burn your hand as often. Those are two logs, chunks logs that I use for shaping spoons and stuff with a ball peen hammer. There's my anvil, which is just a piece of railroad track that I drug out of the ditch. It was a lot bigger than that, weighed about as much as I did, but I cut it about in half. That's the smaller piece there. And, just cut down the horn on it, shaped it a little bit. And that only took me 3 days to do. But it works for what I need, and it makes a very good anvil for a person who can't, just dish out 400 every other day. But then there's also a piece of railroad uh, plate, I guess you'd call it. It just helps hold down the railroad track. These fall off all the time, and you know, it works for cutting and stuff and upsetting. That's my forge. I just made it out of a lawnmower base. Welded some U posts, which are like T posts, only weaker, and I don't know why they make them. And then welded a pipe to a brake disc, and then sloppily welded it to the bottom of the lawnmower.
Not very big. Maybe it can look different from other angles because I've seen that on other people's shops. I think, oh, their shop's pretty big, but they're not. Anyway, let's see. Can I get in focus? Here's just some stuff I made. This is from Galveston. This is Cowboys because go Cowboys Nation. Picked this up from my neighbor. Pretty cool. It's probably not that old, but it looks cool. Let's see. Can I get a shot of... Okay, over here, bottle collection. Only real old one is this one. This is a 60s Gatorade bottle. I found it in a crate on the back of my uncle's property. That's pretty cool. Some slingshots. I'm actually pretty good with a slingshot. First thing I ever turned, plastic eagle off a flagpole that we had that broke. A letter I got. This one's from my sister. I got a bunch more after my shop got broke into. And I got enough support and money and stuff that I was able to restock my shop. The sign for my forge that I made before I even started blacksmithing. So once I have my shop out on our land, I'm going to hang this up outside of it. The blacksmith shop will be separate. This is a bottle opener I made. I've only used it 3 times. Schwinn, fender, 2 axes, and a shovel head I picked off the side of the road. This one's actually really good. I was able to get this pretty sharp. This one, it's like a Home Depot axe. It's not really anything. But I definitely want to get a handle on the other one. Painting I did, not very happy with that one, but I started hanging them up, and now I don't do that anymore. There's a nozzle. I found that in the creek behind us. Clipboard. miscellaneous axe and knife. The constitution of my shop. Somebody's probably going to slow that down and read it. Harbor Freight chop saw. Not the best chop saw in the world. It does what you need it to do. I'm pretty happy with it. I've only had it a couple months. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll update. Wood, plywood, 2x4s. Here's my, behind the table saw, which I'll get back to the table saw. Here's my scrap metal pile. And just bar and stock and stuff. Then I got my band iron down there. This bucket, spring parts, things I'd make knives out of. And then railroad spike. And a bag full of them. It's just a bag full of them. The bag I found out by the train tracks. Sorry, Union Pacific. Stuff nobody really cares about. Table saw. Got this one for free from my neighbor when he moved out. And I never really talked to the guy or anything. I guess, according to him, I offered to help him move something once. And he remembered me. I was walking my dog down the street and he said, "Hey, we're moving out. I've got 2 saws. I don't know what to do with. You want them?" I said, "Sure." I didn't know what kind of saws. Sorry, I gotta throw something out. I didn't know what kind of saws. So I was expecting like a jigsaw and maybe a skill saw, something like that. But no, I got a table saw. Maybe not the best table saw, but it does what I want it to. And a radial arm saw, which I'm now, because the motor stopped working. It just went completely dead. Working on a yoke for a router to put on here. I already did a wood one. I wasn't happy with it at all. Well, not at all. It worked for a couple things, but then it got loose. I think it expanded. Or maybe shrunk because of the weather we had. And it wasn't cutting straight anymore. So I'm trying to figure that out with the metal one. Fake Billy the Kid reward sign from the not the Nature Center. Log Cabin Village. Canada Dry. Not my favorite drink in the whole world. I prefer Dr. Pepper and like the real bottled stuff. But my sister rescued that out of a barn on my grandparents' land, which is where we're moving. At least a part of it. And he burnt the rest of the barn down, but my sister saved a few things. Got tools, better not be mine. Got that after I was broken into. This is one of my proudest achievements of the speech and debate world. I think I can be very persuasive if I want to. And actually, I completely beat them. It was just on the topic of standardized testing, and nobody believed that it's not just that great of a system and could use improvement. But I do, anyway. And that was in the homeschool world. You know, it's kind of sad. But, you know, disagree with me, agree with me, I really don't care. Harbor Freight welder, Chicago Electric. Does what I wanted to. It's 110, so I can plug it in anywhere. Just flux core welding, because I can't afford to keep gas and stuff. I can barely afford to keep wire. These 2 signs, well, first we'll say Rangers, best team, baseball team. Disagree with me, I don't care. I'll just beat you up. Anyway, these 2 signs I got with that over there, and the light post. Anyway, yeah, I got these down around the corner from us. This guy was cleaning out his dad's house after his dad passed away. He stopped by to get that thing, and he said, "We got more signs." And so they had these. I think one was an 820 sign, like freeway sign, and a road sign, and something else, like an exit. But anyway, these were the 2 I wanted. I've always liked railroad spike. It's the rarest of these kind. So I picked that up, and the stop sign, because stop sign's classic. Ray Ramsey, good guy. You know, when I was little, him and his wife were like grandparents right next door. And, you know, I'd always go talk with them and hang out with them, and it was fun. He actually, I'll say inherited. It's his son didn't want some tools. This box of screws, and these 2 filing cabinets from him. This filing cabinet, I keep my router attachment, and I don't know if you can't see in there, and angle grinder in there, pipe and scrap pieces of hardware, wheels and tool parts, and then leather. That's where I keep all my hand power tools, drill bits and stuff, drill attachments. And then down there is more of my maker craft type stuff. That's where I keep all the stuff I don't want to keep anywhere else. And if all of it mixed, I'd probably be in trouble. But hey, let's hope it never happens. I'm not happy with this wrench storage. It's just I've got nowhere else to put them. But what ends up happening is I'm here working at the grinder on this. I'm really getting into it. My head goes down. No, it won't do it. Seriously. Anyway, one of these ends up getting knocked down. For some reason, this magnet's gone strong in the past 3 seconds. Huh. This, wouldn't suggest it. It's done okay for me. The bandsaw blade breaks too much. I don't have enough money to get a bigger one, but yeah, if you're going to go ahead and put the money in, get a bigger one. Harbor Freight, Central Machinery, grinder, I like it. It does what I ask it to. I never really... I've got this habit of not getting enough grinding wheels, and I just wear through one and keep on using it and using it past where I should have. So, you know, safety people hate me. This Craftsman scroll saw. Luckily, I got this. I was helping my neighbor's dad. He was helping her trench out the yard to find where a leak in her water was. And so I helped him out. I didn't want pay. And he said, well, will you take a tool? And I said, duh, I'll take a tool. And here it is. So, this. Always, and buy one of these. If you don't have room for a big drill press, buy one of these. It's nice. I've cut through everything with it. I've cut through hardened steel with it. Just, you know, it wasn't the best thing to do. It took me forever, but I did it. Let's see. What else do we have? What else? That's just random hardware and stuff I keep in. Okay, this is from Mr. Ramsey. Mr. Ray. Keep my planes in it. This is a good one. Got from my birthday. They found it. The Buellers, my friends, found it at a pawn shop. Got this at a antique mall in North Carolina, or antique store. They're this town. It was just all antique stores. It was pretty cool for a historian, woodworker, blacksmith dude like me. Harbor Freight one. Don't suggest it. It's not very good. But I keep it around because it looks cool. Got my chisels. My turning chisels. These are all Harbor Freight. Keep them sharp. They'll do what you want them to. And calipers and square. Odd tools I've got no place for. I've got all my Allen wrenches in this one. It's kind of all stuck right now. I have to fix it. Stuff that came in the toolbox, and then two chuck keys. Leather working stamps I made. I have a video. It's actually pretty popular, which is weird for me. Storage I made for these clamps, and then these. It's just angled off PVC. Favorite thing. God, back to my sister. I love my sister. She got me a stamp that when burnt into something looks like that. And it's just a great way for me to mark my stuff. I don't have to hand wood burn it or anything. Branding iron I made, never used it. I need to. Files, shaping, metal, working, and rasp. Got my steel stamps. Razor bladed equipment. Hammer, sandpaper, and gun. Wrench drawer. Ratcheting screwdriver. Buy one of these. They're nice. All my weird tools like a rivet gun, metal cutting, sheet metal working, what are they? Tin snips. And I got my leather. Hole punch. Branding, or soldering iron, engraver, things like that. That I have no other place for. There's my wall. Hand carved faces. I like them. They're cool. It was one of my first carvings. Dumb sign I keep around because nostalgia. St. Arnold's root beer. That's a local Texas thing. I like Texas. You know, I probably never leave this state besides for Alaska, maybe Montana. I don't know. I'm from Texas. I don't know if I can stand the cold, but I like cold. I just not in negative that often. I keep my clamps up where no one else can reach it. This helps me keep track of them. Most important thing in the entire shop is my little baby, the radio. Let's see. Album collection. Half of these aren't mine. I don't think, really, most of them are mine. Brothers, El Camino, Black Keys. It's a good album. Let's see what else is my brother's. Weezer. I like them. Like, not all the time, but every once in a while. I'll be like, yeah, I'll listen to Weezer. This was my sister's. And before it was my sister's, I think it was my sister-in-law's. And, Satin Doll. It's a big band. They redid big band songs from, like, the 40s and 30s. And I like big band. But I also like heavy metal. I got Metallica. And then I've got this mixed CD. I guess you'd call it a mixtape. That my aunt gave me. Thank you. It's got all sorts of great songs on there. And the best album, in my opinion, that came out of the 90s. Black Crowes. Shake Your Money Maker. Anyway, it's a good one. Clamps from my sister and her husband. Thank you, guys. I love these clamps. They're really nice clamps. I use them all the time. And that is just one of the two. My sister always gives me good presents. I guess she knows me well. Anyway, let's see. Tools I like to keep close at hand. Harbor Freight lathe. Not the best lathe. Not just a great lathe, but I learned how to do it. Sure, I beat it up, but that's because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'd rather beat up this than some really expensive lathe. So, you know, I like it. I need a new one, but I like it. These were from Mr. Ramsey. Nice. I don't use them that often. They look stupid cool, and, you know, when you need them, you need them. 47 Chevy, the best truck in my opinion. I just like the looks of it. It's a nice looking truck. Cowbell. A knife I found at the bottom of a river. It did have handles. I'm going to make something out. Originally it was like a short Japanese sword. But I found it on a river bed when I was kayaking. So I really hope, because I was in a real ghetto area, no one was murdered with it. Base I'm working on. Don't judge me because of the hole. It's going to be awesome. Dartboard case. Never made a video out of this. It's real nice. I don't ever have darts in it. I didn't by the time I made the video. I lost them all. I need to get some. Favorite chair in the whole wide world. One of the first things I made. All pallet wood. Weighs 150 pounds. 175, but it's nice. My bug out toolbox. All the tools I could ever need in a pinch. And I'd carry around with me if I ever did that. Harbor Freight. Thing. I've had it a couple months. I mean, what can I say about it? I stole this from my friend, Marshall. Come and pick it up. I got some, that's my blacksmithing equipment. Let's see, go back here. Hand forge blower. It's okay, I'd give the better one. That's where I keep all the chains and stuff. Extra ratchet set. This chainsaw sharpener, okay, if you do any tree cutting at all, get one of these. I like this thing. My collection of oil cans and a screw jack. Dumb sign I made. Keep hold of it. Face guard from football, face mask from football, and front of a pocket rocket we destroyed. My stencil over there. Painting I did. I used to fit into that. That's amazing. Made that. Like the third thing I ever made. Look at this. My weird button collection. I don't really have real collections. I just collect a few things and move on. I like that's an actual one. My sister and brother-in-law gave it to me. They give me awesome gifts. Forge tongs. Other stuff I bring outside a lot. And I think that's about it. Just I'll go over it one more time. Panoramic style. Dude.